Hey there, guys. We lost that feed. Don't know why. I don't know why we lost it. Dr. Mick, who wants a checkup. Just kidding. I don't want to give you a checkup. I do, though, want to talk about a few things with you. Wait a minute till you guys jump back on. I was talking a moment ago about using this day to get prepped for our upcoming S12, just doing some maintenance on stuff that we've run really hard, and it's good. You know, these are all detail stripped out, meaning everything's stripped out. Okay, your question's gone. What was your question? Go ahead and throw it at me, brother. Throw that question at me. Let's hear it. I don't know what happened. Basically, it said YouTube crashed. I rebooted the phone. Not sure why it crashed. But we have a lot more classes besides S12. Our courses, I'm not going to lie, are a value. There's a lot of people that pass on material like we do, and they charge a lot more than we do. So some of the things I said I wanted to share with you guys is that I kind of want to go back to where I started in using social media. I passed on some of the stuff that I've learned. Look how sweet and clean that 19 slide looks, 19X. These just came out of the parts washer. I used, I've got a large ultrasonic cleaner, big enough I can put whole AR uppers in there, which is pretty slick. Real quick, how is my video coming through? Is it nice and clear? Am I fuzzy? How's my audio? I want to make sure we're working okay before I go too deep here. And also, just check a setting. Probably should have checked before I began. All right, I'm good. All right. Hey, Brandon. So what I was saying is I want to kind of go back to some of the stuff that we used to talk about. By the way, that spring I lost earlier, I'll be ordering one tomorrow. It went flying, and I'm not going to spend the evening trying to find a 75-cent spring that I'm sure SIG will probably charge me $30 for. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that. So, talking a little bit about gun cleaning. I don't play around, man. I see guys cleaning guns at their kitchen table. I see dudes cleaning and working on guns, getting ultimately lead everywhere. Almost thought I lost another part. Thankfully I didn't. So I'm putting this 19X back together. Anyway, long and the short of it is you need to make sure that you're maintaining very good cleanliness practices. Why? Lead poisoning's real. Once lead is in your system, especially when you're exposed to it all the time, it is not easy to get it out of you. As such, it is very important to make sure that you use good practices. By the way, when you're oiling up these striker-fired guns, do not slather the striker full of oil. Very, very bad habit. Actually can lead to light primer strikes and reliability issues. Those parts are made not to be slathered up. Yeah, so I kind of, back to the thought process here, I kind of wanted to get back to, you know, sharing some of my training tips and ideas with you guys for what that's worth. Maybe talking a little bit about gear, which some of you guys know is not my favorite thing to do. I can do it, I will do it, but it is not my favorite thing to do by any means. By any means. And that's okay, I guess. Nothing wrong with that. So, we've got these events coming up. The S12 event, which is a big one I'm very excited about. We've got an event coming up for couples only, which is going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio. That is going to be a super exciting event. The fun thing about that event is not only the level of care that we're putting into the training, but it's going to be a great environment for people that want to bring their wife out, or somebody that just doesn't train a lot, that wants to be in an environment where you don't feel like you have to perform. You know, I think that sometimes is a hard thing for dudes when they show up to a class. We put this pressure on ourselves that we need to show up and, you know, let everybody know how badass we are, how we can, you know, really tear it up out there on the range. At the end of the day, why? What are we trying to prove? Are we there to tear it up, or are we there to get better? Man, I'm like my batting average for not having all my parts together, which never happens to me when I'm cleaning guns. I'm doing a really great job at losing shit today. I don't know why. Give me a second, guys. Very important part. Kind of got left in the tray for some reason. Anyway, back to the point at hand is we're trying to create an environment where people want to show up and work hard, learn, enjoy, grow. Man, I'm losing my marbles here. Two things. Don't start detailing guns out on camera when you can't focus on what you're doing, because that's what I've done here. And then two, what do I do with that back plate, guys? Somebody tell me what I did with the back plate. Goofy bastard. Got it. So we want to create this environment where it is inviting for people to learn, where we're showing up, you're not going to feel like you need to perform. We want you to show up and be able to just focus on what you got to do. You know, at the end of the day, that's what's most important. Wouldn't you agree? Don't you guys... Yeah, of course, I'll be in Springfield in March. That is, you know, we have helped with iGold for a number of years, and will continue to do so. Yeah, of course. Are you going to be down there? I've been telling guys for years to get their ass down there, and it's mind-numbing to me how many Illinois gun owners, they don't give a rat's ass. It's not worth it to them. They don't do anything. I don't want to turn today into a bitch fest. I do that enough, so I don't want to go down that mental rabbit hole with you guys. But yes, I will be there. For those of you that don't live in Illinois and don't know what he's talking about, it is our Illinois gun owners. Why is this backplate not wanting to go on? Illinois Gun Owners Lobby Day. It's the largest Second Amendment gathering in the United States. Let's see what's going on. Why is this not filming in? Well, good. You'll be there, Chet? Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. It's. I think it's important. Now, let's talk about that. So if you go show up in your state capital, show up in the state capital, and You march around a little bit, do your little dance to let the legislators know that you're there, and you're loud and you're proud. Is that changing laws? Not really. But what it does does a couple things. One, it's going to make you feel like you're not just sitting on the couch. Two, it's going to help introduce you to and put you in touch with people that are world changers. You're gonna feel the power that they're putting off by what they're getting done. People like my good friend Belinda Rowe. You're gonna see her kicking ass. You're gonna see other people like at Illinois State Rifle Association, or if you're in whatever your home state is. You might even live in a state that's got some pretty darn good laws. You still need to get involved because, like, look what's happening in Oregon right now. For years, Oregon was one of the freest states in the nation for, exercising one's rights and freedoms. Well, that changes as soon as you start having a change and a swing in leadership, as soon as you start having a change in folks coming in from other parts of the country. You start having things like young people growing up. What's the paintbrush? It's a chip brush. It's funny, man. There's a couple videos we've got on the YouTube here. Let me finish my point first. Things change. So just because the place that you were in was once some bastion of freedom doesn't mean it doesn't stay the same. I'll answer these in order. Chip brush, cheap horsehair brush. I use these. I buy them. What are they? 30 cents, 50 cents. I'll buy them on sale in a bag, and I use them when cleaning to put solvents into areas. And then I have some that are clean, and I use them to broadcast oil onto the gun. So it's a very easy way of keeping the gun lubed up, broadcasting that lubricant around the body of the gun. Make sense? There we go. I don't like the way that recoil spring is acting. And I see why I don't like it. So how often are you guys replacing springs? Looks like this 19X spring might be due for a change. It might be due for a little swappy poo. They only last about 5,000 rounds, or less, depending on what grade of ammo you're putting through your blaster. So if you're putting some high quality or high energy ammo through your gun, I think it's time to order up a recoil spring. If you're putting a lot of high energy stuff through there, you may want to. Magazine springs, depends. Not as, what I find? I kind of wear the magazines out. The lips bend, the plates break. So they kind of end up going as a whole unit. Let's see what we got here. Let me scroll back. So you have oil in no, I do not have oil in the tray. Got some oil right here. I love this Gunfighter gun oil. 100% synthetic, non-biodegradable. It's funny, we have been taught that biodegradable means good. I don't want oil that breaks down. Old toothbrush. Yeah, an old toothbrush is good for cleaning. These chip brushes are really soft. I just took my gloves off, so I don't want oil all over me. They're soft. As such, it's just a nice way of putting oil into the gun. I chuckle, man. I got a video up. Let me show you real quick over here. So I've got that large parts washer over there, and I use water. That's a heated parts washer, so I put water in there, and then I use one of a few things. Today, I had some Slip 2000 gun cleaner degreaser. This is a water-based formula. It's not something you want to rub on yourself. I'm going to rinse my fingers off here. It's not something you want to rub on yourself, but it's not poison. Some guys will use Simple Green. My first point about cleanliness, a lot of guys I work around, train with, shoot with, have elevated lead levels. If you've got small children, you bring that stuff home, young kids, that can really cause permanent developmental damage. So look up some good lead safe practices. The G45 review you did you change the sights? If so, I know it's a Mariglow, what model? So I've got to actually put them on. They're right here. These are the, I believe they call these, let's see if I can line them up here where you can see them good. So this is what the other company out there that makes these kind of sights that copied this. Let's see, bright orange, tritium, blacked out rear with serrations. This one's got a U-notch. I'm trying these. I think they're called, it's not Patrolman. If you look them up on their website, it's like the term for a lawman is what they named them. So you can also use CarryTrainer for a code there. How old do you have to be to get trained in your classes? You have to be legal to own and possess and train with a firearm. Where's a good place in Illinois? We do CCL. Okay, so you've got 10,000 rounds through your Glock 34. Dude, you could put 25,000 rounds on an original spring. The problem is one, your slide is going to cycle way slower. Two, as that slide begins to wear out, let me grab a gun here, clear, nice strong spring in there. As that starts to wear out, this slide is slamming without that spring absorbing energy. Almost any manufacturer that I know of says to replace springs, the recoil spring, I think you're calling it a guide rod spring, it's a recoil spring, somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 rounds. They're like 15, 20 bucks. Don't not replace it. Happy Sunday, Silu. Nice gift from our friends at Impact Training Center. We're just out here to visit us. Rheingeist from Cincinnati. Good stuff. Good IPA. You have some decals back there? I do. Those Hackathorn sights are good. Any good ways, of getting my stippling cleaned up? They get dirt and oil. Yeah, dude, just take take a toothbrush, take your gun apart. This is what I was starting to drive at. Dudes are weird. So, like this gun, you treat this gun differently, or a wood stacked blued hunting rifle. You treat those way differently than you treat this gun. They're made to handle oil, sweat, dirt, grease, all that good stuff. And you see like old school dudes cleaning guns, cleaning these polymer pistols as if they were some competition grade gun. This is a tool. I break mine apart. So like if I'm like this gun, this is 10 or 12 years old. You can see it's beat up. It's pretty trashed. I don't care. It's oiled. It works good. It's clean. It's got fresh springs. I'll break this apart. I'll do this right here. I'll open this up. I've got some toothbrushes, and I take orange hand cleaner without the pumice because I don't want all that grit in there. And I scrub it with the pumice, with the toothbrush. I rinse it out under hot water. That's a detail strip now. I pulled all the internals out of the slide, which if you know what you're doing, you can do it in about 30 seconds. I rinse it all out. If I've got compressed air, I use compressed air to dry the parts. If I don't have compressed air, I'll put it somewhere to dry. And once it's dry, I lubricate it, put it back together again. And there's guys like, you need hoppies. No, you don't. You don't. So you're stippling, take a degreaser, take a toothbrush, scrub it up. You'll be good. I've not seen that pistol from Springfield. Well, you're gonna need a punch for a roll pin. You're gonna need a block, and I'm not a gunsmith, but you're gonna need a block, and you're gonna need to drive it out. You know, easy peasy. East Coast, yeah, man. Look at our calendar. We're gonna be in Eastern Pennsylvania. We're gonna be in New Jersey. So happy to get with you and train. I don't know. I've taken those apart. I've watched them taken apart. I don't think it's that difficult. You just got to have the right tools. So that is a Taurus box. Good eye, man. So turning over a new leaf. Let me get some of this stuff cleaned up here. Don't like a shitty mess. So dudes are always asking like, hey, you keep showing us, you know, super high-end pistols like this. I can't afford it. And sometimes I have to remind myself that there's been times in my life when I couldn't buy diapers or put gas in my car. And guys would say, how about, you know, a review on a Taurus? I'd be like, screw that. Well, like I said, I have to remind myself that there's times in my life that I didn't have what I have now. And owning this is better than owning nothing. So I went and picked this up, and weird trigger. We're going to do wow, it's so weird. So weird. We're going to do a review on it. You guys ever play with one of these? Hi, Montenegro. So I'd like to, you know, we'll talk about that in a video. Really, the idea is for, what did I pay for this thing? $219. I mean, that's, you can buy almost 3 of those for what some guns cost. So that's a pretty, you know, it's a pretty good bargain. So broad picture here. Heard on primary, secondary that you can use 45 ACP for 10 millimeter 1911s. That's totally dependent. I've got 10 millimeter 1911s. It's very much dependent. I don't know who was on there, but you got to make sure that you got parts that work. I have not. I've seen that Mossberg pistol. I've told nice things about it. Cool, man. Cool. You know, and like I said, I need to remember that. I mean, there was a time I didn't have all this crap. There was a time when buying a box of ammo was like, do I get lunch or do I buy a box of ammo? And, you know, I'm a little farther along in my life now, but I need to remember that there's some dudes out there that maybe a $200 gun is still a stretch. So we're going to do some discussions on that. What else you got for me, kids? You got me for a little bit longer. Yeah, those little Kel-Tecs are not bad. Those little Kel-Tecs are not bad. What kind of holster for the Taurus? I'm actually waiting for one. It'll look like this. I'm a big fan of the Vetter Light Tuck. So it'll look like this. This is the SIG P365 holster, but it'll look like this, but be for that particular pistol. Hey, Texas, we'll be back down there. Galil, well-known gun. I'm assuming when people say, what about this gun or what about that gun, they either have one or they want one. You know, there's guns all around this room. At the end of the day, give me a Glock 19 and a good AR and a pump shotgun and I'm good to go. Cool, man. Yeah, that's a great gun, that CZ. Yeah, the old High Point is No, I don't recommend. So, question there, guys, was do I recommend a good cleaning after a range day? Most of us are told that these guns need to be cleaned as if they were some type of surgical tool. I'm not, doesn't make me proud to say it, but that SIG had a couple thousand rounds through it. I'm looking for one here. This guy right here. Well, this has probably 3,500 rounds through it and has never been cleaned other than me making sure that the feed ramp is clean, and then I will break it apart and make sure that the contact points are oiled up because these guns like to be wet. But that's kind of a misnomer that we need to go crazy cleaning the guns. There really is, you guys, I just got myself all greasy. There really is no reason for that. Actually, in some cases, it might be injurious to the gun. You might be over cleaning the gun. You know, food for thought there. Yeah, high points, you know, better than no gun, but it's not anything I'd ever want. Sang is doing some security work right now. VP9, good gun. That VP9, where is it? That VP9 is a almost direct copy of this gun, the Walther PPQ. So it's funny, you know, guys are like, oh, Walther copied it. This is about 20 years older than that VP9. Inforce lights. They've been around a while, but they still don't have the time that a Streamlight or a Surefire has, for sure. Do you have any idea who will be instructing with you in Ohio at the Cleves stop? Usually most of my classes I'm by myself. So in Cleves, Ohio, which will be at twice, the one of them is the couples weekend. The one that I'm there by myself, I'll probably be there by myself. Update on the 365, other than me just losing the spring as I was putting it back together, which is really irritating to me because I don't lose stuff like that. Maybe I'll find it later as I'm packing up the gun table here, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It's been running very good. You guys saw the video I put together today. They're a well-built little gun, and you know what? I'll say it now, I've said it before, I'm tired of dudes on the internet just spending their free time like bashing companies. It's beyond ignorant, it's stupid, and at the end of the day it does nothing. You know what's funny? I don't like SIG. I'm a serious Glock shooter. I love my Berettas, and I love the, look at this thing. Look at the frame. Look at the frame. I mean, it's so small. The fact that you can put 13 rounds on board, you guys see the videos I put out. This gun can be run with haste, and it can be done accurately. That's intriguing to me, and as such, rather than just flap my jaw because some other guy did a video and said that it's a piece of shit, I'll do my own research. My ammo, my time, get off my back. That's my point. Oh, there you go. What SIGs do I have? Not a lot, actually. I've got this. I've had some other SIGs in the past. I've traded them off for other things. I've got a couple SIG rifles. Not a lot. They're, like I said, they're not my favorite guns. Cool, Jacob. You're a little nervous carrying one in the chamber. Well, Jacob, I will say, before you even think about carrying, I'd invest a lot of energy in training. The safety is a misconception. Most of you guys probably know this, but Glock's empty. Check that one out. It's pretty cool, right? It's got the logo. Glock's empty. I want to draw and shoot something. I have to put my finger on the trigger and pull it. If there was a safety, I still have to take that safety off, put my finger on the trigger and pull it. Safeties are really, when you think about it, it is a lever for people that aren't trained, which really makes them no more safe, because you still have to not point the gun at people or things you don't want to shoot. You still have to not put your finger on the trigger and press it when you shouldn't be shooting. So a safety doesn't do anything. Gersan MC28. I'm sorry, I have no idea what that is, man. I wish I did. No info about the dry fire mag and the laser right now. Hey, Steve. I would shoot whichever one of those guns you shoot better, or that you have, or that you like. The Legion series, I mean, they're really nice guns. They're slicked up. For me, I'm going to go with a 92 over a SIG any day of the week. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. My Wilson Combat's off getting some tuning done on it and repairs and upgrades. Well, I got another Wilson down here somewhere. Here it is. Oh, that's so slick. There's guys that don't like these, and then I realize those guys don't know how to shoot, and they don't really know anything about guns, so it's like, whatever. There is no old days, there's just today. Why do you wrap your left index finger on top of the right index finger instead of just firmly around it? Why do you wrap your left index finger on top of the right index finger? I don't know what that means. So let's see. Here's my right index finger. Here's my left. What do you mean? What are we talking about? You telling me I should be like this? What are we talking about? So if we want to have a quick grip discussion, let's move you guys a little farther back. Quick grip discussion. Righties, I want that gun up as high and tight into my hand as possible. I want no space here. I want no space here. I want that gun in line with my strong bone, long bone. See that? This offhand, some guys describe this, a little forward cant to your hand straight, looks pretty good, forward cant, and I get this meaty chunk of my hand way up higher on the gun. I would put blue Loctite on there. I would never put red Loctite on anything I don't want to get apart. No plans for Aurora Sportsman's. 16 will do you just fine. Is capacity important? I think so. Chat, that's something that I would take up with a lawyer. Bashing semi-auto Taurus. Well, let's really quick have the discussion. Let me catch you up here. Shit, how did I get this far behind? It's not being a great shooter, being able to shoot with any tool that you have in your hands and then to compensate for any flaws. Well, I kind of dig that, but I'd rather be a great shooter with one gun than be able to shoot 50 guns okay. Alabama, I'll be near. Check out our calendar, CarryTrainer.com. I have shot a Canic. I don't own one. Do you store mags loaded? Many of them, yes. I don't carry a Taurus. I don't plan on ever carrying a Taurus. Let's see that Radian. Okay, I'll show you that Radian in a minute. Remind me. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Who makes a good mag carrier for a CZ75? There's a lot of companies. What kind of mag carrier? Inside, outside the waistband? What's it for? Trolls can kiss my ass. Yep, Walter Creed, shot it a lot. We work very closely with Walter. Favorite sites to co-witness? That's a very open-ended question. Good accuracy speed standard for CCW. All right, I'm going to answer. I like that question. Let's go back to capacity. Why is capacity important? How many rounds does it take to stop an individual with a firearm? So you're somebody violent, doing something violent, something that requires deadly lethal force, i.e. you shooting them. So 5-shot J-frame, right? Little tiny gun. This gun can hold a plus P round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's all I got. Well, if you can't get it done in 5, you can't get it done at all. Well, there's a lot. That is the gun culture. Let me set a thought here. The gun culture is full of a lot of people that make dogmatic statements that have this end-all be-all attitude, and most of it's just hot air. Who says that person's going to stand there and let you shoot him 5 times? Who says that person's not going to be on drugs, be on alcohol? Who says that person doesn't have on heavy clothing or body armor? Who says that person is not afraid of dying and is going to continue to fight? I personally know numerous men that have shot bad people more than 10 times with good weapons, good ammo, and the people continued to fight. So when you see anybody on the internet that says if you can't get it done in 6, or you can't get it done in 7, or you can't get it done in 10, you instantly know that that person is talking out their ass. And when I hear that, it's like record screech. Nothing else that person has to say means anything to me. So yes, capacity is important. I think you can. I think you should carry a firearm. That's why this gun intrigues me. 13 rounds with a backup mag. That's 22 rounds because the backup mag's only got 12 in it, and this one's 1 in the chamber. So 25 rounds total. The idea is, though, is 1, can you deploy the weapon efficiently and hit whatever it is that needs hitting? 2, does the gun carry enough ammunition for contingencies? 3, is the gun capable of carrying ammunition that is known through empirical data to stop people? There's a lot of new hokey, gimmicky ammo that doesn't do what people think it does. Just because it blows a water jug up doesn't mean it does a damn thing to a violent human. So yes, capacity is very important. Somebody asked a question about what's a good accuracy speed standard for concealed carry. So I think that's a great question. Let's just assume that anybody that's going to carry a gun should be able to safely get it in and out of a holster. I don't care if you're wearing an outside the waistband holster, an inside the waistband holster, wearing a soft holster in the pocket. You should be able to get that gun in and out of the holster smoothly, quickly, efficiently, and acquire a target. Personally, I like to use Post-it notes. Why a Post-it note? Well, think about how big a Post-it note is on a human. We hear things like center mass. A lot of times that center mass thing is more bravado from people that want to oversimplify something that shouldn't be oversimplified. Yes, sometimes shooting to center mass is a good thing, but what if you have to shoot somebody right in the face to stop them right now? I like to use 3x5 note cards, or sorry, 3x3 Post-it notes and 3x5 note cards. I don't think I have any down here. You know, looking at something like this, this is about 4 inches by 3 inches. I think you should be able to draw and hit that in 2 seconds. And I think you should be able to draw and hit it 5 times in like 3 seconds. No problem. We do a drill where at 20 feet, so you're almost at 7 yards, I want to be able to draw and put 4 rounds into a 3x5 note card in 2 seconds or less. I think my best time doing that was about 1:86. I think something like that 3x3 Post-it note at 5 yards and in, you should be able to draw and hit that in 1.5 seconds, 1 round. And recoil control at shooting at a flat static target is a great test of your ability to just shoot the gun at something that's not moving, but it's not analogous to a person. I hope that kind of answers it. I like something. Bullpup's fine. I mean, I think for most of us, if you're not working in an environment like I don't work in an environment where I need to climb in and out of vehicles, I'm not trying to chase some, it's easier to maneuver. I've got dozens of friends that were Green Berets and SEALs, and they used full-size AR rifles to clear houses. So I think it's if you want to own one. These tools are pretty well tested and pretty well, and there's sand and dirt all in this sucker, pretty well tested and pretty well proven to work, especially from a good company. So why am I going to go look at something that's untested? Or a lot of those bullpups have spongy triggers because of how they have to work. Give me this and I'll get good accuracy. It's easy to find parts for them. It's easy to find things like magazines, slings, whatever you might need. Make sense? Mantis X. So people ask me about that all the time. Excuse me. I use some tools, and I tell people like about the dry fire mag and others. Here's the one thing that I know. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of friends that are champion shooters. None of them use any of those things. Those champion shooters, they dry fire, they live fire, they have a plan in how they train, but they don't have any of those kind of gimmicky tools, is kind of how I'm going to call it. They don't have any of them. No plans for upstate New York. 43X, I think it's a great little gun. You know, the thing is about gun companies, guys, just like movies or car companies, they got to keep making new shit. Otherwise, you're not going to buy it. That Viking Tactics sling's great. That's what you're looking at right here. Kyle Lamb knows his stuff. And, you know, I'm the kind of guy where when we need something, we go to an expert, right? And the expert has done the work. So when I'm with my friends who are Green Berets, SEALs, Rangers, other former special operations guys, and you look at the gear that they have, guys are running slings like this. Now, this is a Viking Tactics sling. Now, guys like Frank Proctor, he makes his own sling. It's a great sling. And there's others out there that also make great slings. But the long and the short of it is, we'll be back to Vegas. The long and the short of it is, I'm going to do what the people that know what's up are doing. What type of holsters? I love Vetter holsters inside the light tuck. Carry ammo. Gino, you can go check out our video here on Supervel. Supervel invented the jacketed hollow point. Supervel was at one point the #1 selling ammunition in the country to law enforcement for many reasons. Supervel stands for super velocity. They were lighter bullets. Do I have some on the table? I sure do. You know, here's the stuff that we carry. It's 115 grain solid copper projectile. So it's not a jacketed hollow point, which I just told you, Supervel invented the jacketed hollow point. They also brought this guy to market, this solid copper. This solid copper bullet's doing about 1,250 feet per second. Now, a lot of times cartridge companies give you a speed rating, and that's tested out of like a 6-inch barrel. But when you put that stuff through a smaller barrel, you don't get those results. That's the nature of ballistics and physics. Then what happens is without that speed, you don't get penetration and expansion. We've tested this out of 50 guns. The speed's there. and I don't want to go into it right now because we've already done a lengthy video. There's 2 of them up here on the channel if you want to watch. But basically, the way that ballistics works, the round is here, right? The round goes off, that powder is burning. As it's burning, it's not an explosion, that powder is burning. As it's burning, the bullet is traveling, and it bursts from the muzzle. Sometimes that powder is burning even after the bullet has left the barrel, i.e., if you put a certain cartridge into a really short barrel, or with a longer barrel, like this guy here. This is a 10 millimeter, but it still doesn't matter. I'll spin it this way just so you can see the chamber. You know, like by the time that bullet reaches here, the powder may be all burned up. Why is that important? Well, that means this bit of barrel here, you've got no more speed being built up. Now, that's not a good or a bad thing because you might be trying to achieve a certain velocity. Well, what Supervel did when they constructed this is they formulated a powder and load that burns up in a short amount of barrel. So if I take, give me a shorty. If I take this Glock 26 here, or I take this this beautiful Langdon Beretta, I'm going to have a velocity that is very similar. Very similar. When I say very similar, I mean it might be 1,260 feet per second out of the Beretta, and it might be 1,210 out of the Glock 26. That's incredible. Most makers, if you go grab the ammo that you're shooting and test that, you'll see wildly big differences. Something else you'll see, and I've chronographed so much of this stuff, you're going to see a very consistent speed from projectile to projectile. Why is that important? Well, that's one of the major components of accuracy. When you have big swings in velocity, one bullet's going slower, it's going to lob into the target. One going faster is going to shoot flatter into the target. You're going to get a more accurate round. This stuff is sickly accurate. Now, if you're the kind of person where it's like, I don't carry a bunch of different guns, which you shouldn't, but that's another discussion altogether, or like, there's a reason that this is important. Maybe you carry a 26 as a backup gun, you carry a 17 as your duty or primary carry weapon. All that ammo can be interchanged and you won't have any issues. So there's a lot that goes into that. AR pistol, I think, and this is, look at the ballistics. When you get below 10 inches in a 5.56, the ballistics goes to poop. You might as well shoot a 9 millimeter. It's almost a joke. Talk to guys that have carried them and actually used them to shoot at people. You'll get mixed subjects, but I think, or mixed reviews. I think for most of us that are using them to shoot at paper, I don't need it. That's a 10 inch. That gun I can ring steel at 300, 400 yards with the red dot. But there's a huge velocity loss, which defeats the point of using a carbine. Wilson Combat's a great gun. I've got 30,000 rounds or something through it. Really worth it. Terms like really worth it are really interesting because I'll pay $50 for a steak and somebody else thinks that McDonald's is a ripoff. So worth it depends. I think I would tell you if you're not an awesome shooter, or you just like, if you're trying to buy a better gun to become a better shooter, I wouldn't do that. Good. Yeah, man, Thumbbrake, the Safariland you're talking about, that's one of my favorite holsters. I use one of these hunting, I use one of these backpacking, I use one of these around the house. I am not a law enforcement officer. We do some work with law enforcement officers and some military people. And so I will put one of these on because, one, I really like the holster, but two, then I'm training with something that's applicable to those folks' daily lives. And as well as the Supervel is concerned, if you guys want to buy that, go to CarryTrainer.com. We don't personally sell it, but I have a forum there where you will get a significant discount if you visit our website. They sell it to you on my behalf at a significant discount. The SD9E, blah, 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 blah. I would say it's a budget gun, and that's what you get out of it. Will I do a class in my panties? I don't wear panties. Favorite snake oil? That's, I love when people say stupid shit. Yeah. So, I think the broad question about some of the, or the broad answer about some of these things is that there is no easy answer. I have my viewpoints, but hey, Hornady makes a fantastic round. Gold Dot makes a fantastic round. There's a bunch of very well tried and true tested rounds. That being said, though, I don't drive an 85 pickup like I once did. I'm not wearing Velcro Reeboks anymore. If there's new stuff that comes out of the market, eventually bimetal bullets being a jacketed bullet, those will be gone. Again, invented by Lee Juris from Supervel. That's a old. That is an old technology. What are we talking about? What are you people talking about? Why are we talking about suicide? What are we talking about? Two-eye shooting, open-eye shooting. It's kind of there's different schools of thought on that. I think sometimes we get really wrapped around the axle on, oh my God, I can't protect myself with a gun because I can't shoot with both eyes open. I do it very easily, and I do it very easily because you make a conscious choice to focus on that sight, and it's done through, what happens is we start to see the double objects. Some guys will put a smudge of like lotion or Vaseline or something, or a piece of tape on the front center of the non-dominant eye, and that allows you, like if you're a righty, it allows you the periphery and just blocks out that frontal vision. It takes a conscious effort. You got it, man. I'll look it up. Pocket or ankle carry? Dude, this little 365, they should be paying me. It's a great little gun. Actually, I've got some Cheetah Tactical. They sent me these. I've got to do some testing on them. They're not paying me, but these are supposed to be the cat's pajamas for ankle carry. So I think one thing is make sure you've got a Dynamite ankle holster. Can't go wrong with a J-frame, man. These things, especially a good one, is worth their weight in gold. Interesting thing though, with even with a suit on, which I believe it or not wear dress clothes often, you can conceal a gun if you've got a good holster and you didn't have your jacket cut too sporty. My favorite shooting drill, accuracy, good old-fashioned group shooting. Do I recommend night sights? You can't go wrong with the Mariglow sights. Now, there are some famous instructors that say night sights are stupid, and those guys are really good at shooting on the range. If you do any type of low light shooting where you, just say you simply are going to work like something like this, and it's very dark or dim in the room without tritium inserts, it's really hard to line your sights up. I have done a lot of low light training, and at the very least, what it's giving you is a reference. It's giving you a reference. I don't know how you can practice this. Just close your eyes and put the gun out in front of you and open your eyes up and like imagine and make sure you're in a safe space, empty gun and all that good stuff. But like I've got my CarryTrainer logo You guys have seen this wall over on that door right there. So I will close my eyes, all right, and just try this. I'm going to press out, open it up. I'm actually pretty happy with that. My sights are well aligned. I'm going to do it again. Good alignment. So those last two, I felt like I was off to the left. I didn't feel like it. They were off to the left. That one, I'm off to the right. I way overcompensated. I'm going to try it again. That one, I'm shooting low. So part of this is a dry fire issue, but night sights, what they're really doing for you is giving you a reference point. Make sense? Mariglows are top notch. Use my code. I don't get paid. You'll save some money. CarryTrainer's the code. Dara holsters, don't know them, seen them. It's not warm. It's not warm. And actually, warm beer, whatever. Okay, well, snake oil to me, my friend, is like somebody selling lies. I like this one right here. This guy does not pay me. He's a good dude. He started this company a couple years ago. Gunfighter Gun Oil. If you go visit them, it's they're in Abbeville, South Carolina. This is a non-biodegradable lubricant. Non-biodegradable lubricant. Most gun oils are biodegradable because they, for some reason, people are like, oh, well, that's the good thing. No, I want to make sure it doesn't break down. He doesn't pay me. He sent me some. He sent me like 10 bottles of that a few years ago. I like Slip 2000's a good gun oil. You know, Fire Clean and all these different lubes. I'm not knocking them. Most of them are made with plant-based oils. Okay, think about that. Plant-based oils. Vegetable-based oils. I'm pretty sure one of them that's green is made of coconut oil. The heat and friction wears these out. Blacked out rear. You know, some of those things are up to you. This is my go-to. Man, there's some retention. These are my go-to sites right here. These are basically this is what the FBI, you know, this is funny, food for thought. When guys talk about like what site companies are the best or whatever, I want you to think about the FBI buys Ameriglow sites, Glock buys Ameriglow sites, companies like Polymer 80 buy Ameriglow sites, and many other agencies. So this is what the FBI is using, and I don't use these because the FBI is using them. I've been using these for over a decade, invented by Ameriglow. They have a model called the Spartan Operator. There's a guy that owns a company called Spartan, and he says he invented them. He didn't. They were invented by Ameriglow, and they're just a great site. They've got that orange, and you can also order them if you want with like a greenish yellow. The inner circle is tritium. These have, I don't know if you can see, I've got a new camera coming to do some of these videos that'll do a better autofocus for us. Can we get it? Can we get it? Can I make it do it? Anyway, these are serrated on the rear. You want, in my opinion, you want a rear sight that's got a ledge. Okay, why? Because I can hook this onto, I guess I can stand, you know, I can hook this, see that? I can hook this on my belt if I need to manipulate with one hand. So some food for thought there. These are freaking dynamite tools. I think at the end of the day, what's going on here? I got to order a bunch of springs. At the end of the day, you cannot go wrong with the Ameriglow. What else, kids? Man, I got to spend some time cleaning guns. I love these. It's a 17 Gen 5. It's the shiz. What else you got? What else you got? Talk to me. looks decent though. Camera not bad. Thank you. Well, this camera will film in an amazing quality, but it's not, the autofocus isn't perfect on it for this kind of stuff. Do you see a need for firearms instructors that can provide good instructional delivery in more than one language? I actually have had very few people. To be honest, there's not a lot of people that I have met. That's not, so what I'm about to say is just my experience. I haven't met too many people that live in the United States that exercise their Second Amendment right as citizens, because you have to be a citizen to exercise Second Amendment right. I don't know too many of them that don't speak English in some degree. So that doesn't mean that's not the case. I just haven't, it's not my experience. Make sense? What else you got, kids? Appendix carry? Come on, dude. Really? What's my, I mean, that's my opinion on it. I think those kinds of questions are like too much of an oversimplification. Let's go deeper. Do I think it's unsafe? Could be. Do I think it's faster than other forms of carrying? Could be. Do I think it's easier to hide the gun for most people in an appendix position? Could be. Do I think it's a very easy way to shoot yourself? Could be. Do I think it's a very easy way to keep the gun from being taken from you in a position where you can draw in more positions, like seated? For example, if I'm carrying on the small of my back and I'm in a vehicle or seated, I've got to lean way forward to get the gun out. It's a training issue. Anything can be trained. Anything can be trained to be safe and done correctly. Not everything can be just simplified, though, to like, what do I think about a thing? Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Does it or no? Springfield XPS, good little gun. Good little gun. Belly band, if you need it. The 365 is doing pretty darn good. I don't think that you need to put a stainless steel guide rod in. You know, here's the funny thing. This is something I ask people when they talk to me about making upgrades to like a Glock or a basic pistol. They want to make an upgrade to like stainless steel. What's it going to fucking do for you? Pardon my language. Are you going to shoot that much flatter? I purposely, go look at the video I put on Instagram today with this gun. I was shooting a 6-second, no, it was 5 shots, draw, 3 to the A zone, transition, 2 to a 3x5 note card. I did it in like 1.9 seconds. And I'm not a great shooter. Bone stock. All of these things that we do to upgrade a gun, they don't replace practice. They don't replace investing energy in learning. They don't replace good instruction. They don't replace finding out what works and doesn't work. Indiana class, it is not sold out yet. It's getting there. Indiana, you only have to be 18 to own a pistol. Is that correct? If you're going to come to one of our classes this summer, it says it on our website, you should be able to safely manipulate your gun. You should be able to safely load and unload. You should be able to safely draw and reholster. You should understand and know the functions of the gun, and you should be able to do them all with total safety with people around you without losing your brains. Doesn't mean you need to go fast. Let me just, what sparked you to do gun training? We've got some videos up here. I talk about some tragedies that happened in my personal life. Some people close to me that were killed, murdered in violent scenarios. That I think is one thing. Two, I enjoy martial arts. I enjoy teaching. I think I do add some things that maybe others don't bring to the table. But there's so many amazing shooters and instructors in the world. I'm not so much a shooting instructor as I am somebody that I feel like our mission is to help you start to understand yourself more. The AmeriGlow coupon, no, it's CarryTrainer. Go to AmeriGlow and it's CarryTrainer. You can also go to CarryTrainer.com. I don't like when people ask me to do more work. It's like when you're on the phone with somebody and they're like, send me an email of what we're talking about. How about you take some notes? I'm in my gun room here on Sunday. Get a damn notepad out. CarryTrainer. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. And also, all of our codes are on the website, CarryTrainer.com. So, back to that question of like NRA and stuff, man, there is way too many people in the quote-unquote gun community that spend all their free time talking about what they don't like, and I don't see any of them doing, let me rephrase that, I don't see many of those people that are injecting massive amounts of negativity in the world. I don't see them doing things to move the ball down the field. First beer of the day, it's delish. AR left-handed, well, if you ever watch any of my videos, I'm running an AR left-handed because I don't see out of my right eye. I have one back there. Well, actually, I'll grab it because it's not an ambi gun. Let me grab it. This thing, it's funny, you know, again, people talk about having to do a bunch of upgrades. I have, no, not patting myself on the back, but I have schooled special operations soldiers in shooting competitions. I don't know shit about what they do, and they'd kill me when it came to a real fight, so I'm not trying to sound like an arrogant prick. But a very basic Smith & Wesson M&P bone stock trigger. And this one I've got a high mount on so that when I'm shooting right-handed, the optic's off of here right now. I could rotate that optic into the line of sight, so if I had to shoot righty, possibly for a drill. But for the most part, mechanics shouldn't change. You know, just quick food for thought, when you're shooting a long gun, a carbine, you should be doing most of, this is what should hold the gun. My body forward. If you guys want to see my feet, you guys are going to dig my slippers. Let's see if I can get in here. Let's see, how's that? You know, I am bladed and loose. See that? I'm pulling that gun into me right here. I'm not pulling here. I am pulling here. All right? This hand, I can work the safety with my thumb, and my hand here is not pulling. I've got a fairly loose grip on the pistol grip. In all actuality, I should be able to sight through the optic or irons and press just like that. So for a lefty, same thing. I've got that gun cranked back into me. This is what's holding the gun. Forward pressure from the shoulder and torso, and I am pulling that gun with this hand here into me. You know, there's guys that have to get like this on the gun. It's not necessary. It's mechanics. You're looking for a mechanical advantage. And to be honest, these guns don't recoil that much. Favorite camo, jeans and a t-shirt. That's how I blend into the world. What do you mean the barrel's showing more wear? What kind of wear? RDS handguns? I've got some red dots, good stuff. What percentage of your grip should be your dominant hand? Are we talking pistols? I don't like those percentages. I don't like those percentage questions. We'll answer that. 43 and 48, fine little guns. Glock MOS, red dot cut. I would actually, if I was going to have a red dot put on a gun, I would have Boresight Solutions do the Glock cut. It's upstairs. I've got a Glock from Ben with one of his cuts. Okay, grip pressure. We'll grab a gun that everybody knows, Glock 19. So I actually just shot a video about this the other day. I haven't published yet. There are guys that say like 70-30, 80-20, 50-50. It all depends. It all depends on the gun. Depends on the, if I only need to fire one shot, I can go like this and shoot one time. If I need to fire 20 shots as fast as I can, I'm going to have to hold the gun differently. Here's what I know. I like data, and I like asking, like I said a minute ago earlier in the video, I like asking people that know more than me. So there are great shooters. A really good person to ask about this is Ron Avery. Ron is a national level shooter. And Ron talks about holding the gun like if you were shaking a man's hand, like a firm handshake. So Ron's one of these guys that shoots at a high level. He's an excellent instructor. And Ron says softer, you know, not a super hard hold. Now check it out. Ron's not wrong or right. Ron is right for Ron. Then you talk to a guy like give me somebody. Rob Latham, the great one of the most winning shooter of all time. Or Jerry Miculek, a guy like that. Latham says, I squeeze it with this as hard as I can, and I squeeze it with this as hard as I can. And I have asked, and I was just with JJ Ricasa the other day. I have asked so many national and world level shooters over the years, and they all grip the hell out of the gun. And, well, they don't all. 95% of them do. So while guys that like Ron Avery are not wrong, the other guys, the other 95% of these world-class shooters aren't wrong either. So grab the gun with purpose. Do the mash grip demo. I mean, that's, I mean, we're not squeezing the gun. I am not squeezing as hard as I can squeeze, but here's why I said it's different. I'm stronger than some people. I'm not saying I'm like super strong, but you know, I've got, look at that fucking forearm. Are you kidding me? That was a joke. But I've got, you know, fairly good upper body strength for a grown man. You can see when I'm gripping, you can see the muscles in my forearm of my hand are flexing. Eric Camps is the poster child for grip that works. You know, Eric, who he's talking about, Eric's a friend of ours. Eric learned to shoot using a 92. So, you know, guns like this or the SIG, it's very easy to get up high and impact the slide lock lever, or guys that learned on, give me one, where's a 1911? Here we go, or a 1911. You know, you shoot a 1911, and as this gun comes out of the holster, your dominant hand is working that thumb safety. And, you know, guys, this is how some dudes were taught to shoot. Now, this doesn't look terrible, but this goes against so much of what we teach today. Look at all this real estate right here. You see that? So now I can actuate the safety. There's all this real estate. Now, something to be said, the grip dimensions of that versus something like that are way different. The Glock versus the 1911. So there is no end-all, be-all way of doing things. But back to that pressure, the one thing I know, let's just say that you have average strength. You don't know how I feel when I'm squeezing, But I know that if I'm training hard, or if I attend a course, or I shoot a bunch over a course of a few days, my hands hurt. Why? They hurt because look at my arms. So watch, I'm totally relaxed right now. Watch my arm. See that? I mean, I'm gripping the gun. So if I was shooting, this is what my arms look like. Look at my hands. Again, if we're in class, I'll come along and I'll have folks drop their non-dominant hand, and I'll come up and I'll crush onto them, and I'm crushing. I'm squeezing. Look, I'm squeezing through this double action, and even right now, I'm going to relax my grip some. Watch the muzzle. See the muzzle, guys? I'm going to crush down. See the difference? That's one of those things that I think you have to work on yourself. Finding the right balance, comfort, repeatability. It's not comfortable. If you're holding the gun correctly, it hurts like a mofo. If you're doing it right, it's not going to feel good. Your hands are going to be tired. Shadow Systems pistol. I don't know what those are. Glock 45. I've got one upstairs. It's not down here. Great gun, man. Great gun. I mean, the 45 is very much the same as, not very much the same, but it's very similar to the 19X, which I have right here. I'm going to put some lubricant on this. Just going to put it back together. Listening to some Stevie. What did I miss? Get a Vetter with the claw. You might not be talking to me because you probably know that Vetter and I've worked together since they were in their garage. So talking about the 45, Glock 45, it's basically the same size as this. Great gun. I think you'll get a lot of good use out of it. Yeah, I have red dots on pistols. I try to, that's what she said. It's not that I won't do it. I think that there's some people that are always looking for an edge. If I can still hit a headshot at 25 yards with my eyes, and I can still acquire sights, my goal is not to be the fastest guy. My goal is not to win a match. My goal is to know that the gun that I carry, that when I draw it, press it out and press the trigger, I'm going to, within reason, hit what I need to. Does that make sense? The 15-yard shot isn't difficult to get good groups with. What I would do if I was you is I would use a target like that big at 4 yards, 5 yards. Don't try to shoot at 15 yards until you can make all your bullet holes go in that. If you can't hit that at 4 yards, then don't bother moving back to a farther target. Personal choice and grip style. Yeah, I don't really like personal choice either. Here's why I don't like that. It's like I don't have an opinion on what's the best way of suturing an abdominal wall. I don't need an opinion on that. Now, if I was in medical school and I was learning it, I would only develop an opinion after doing it. And I think it's specifically predicated on what your goal is. If you're just trying to plink, that's one thing. But if your goal is that you want to be able to efficiently draw a pistol with haste, I don't mean like pick it up and be like, all right, how do we grip it? And then That's different. I'm saying with haste, come up, find the sight, and press a shot, and then hit again and hit again. In order to do that, you need to have a very good grip. It's not about comfort or what you think feels good. The night sights that come on the 45 and 19X are okay. I took them off. They're okay, though. What's my thoughts on nationalism? No race guns. What do you mean by nationalism? I mean, you know, to say what kind of pistol drills can you do? It'd be like, what should you practice in baseball? You don't need an ambi mag release on your AR-15 at all. I didn't have one for a decade. I think your drills should be reflective of whatever your goals are. So if your goals are, like I just said, this, you cannot, one of my mentors, I've talked about him for years, his name is Bob Housingay. Bob was a 6-time national champ and still alive, still a great shooter. Was a police chief in Iowa. There's some videos of him, Bob Housingay. Take a pacer like this. That's like 7/8 of an inch square. And make that your target. Okay? Bob used to say, Bob still says, start and end every training with accuracy. Why is that important? Well, because if you can't hit it, who cares how fast you can go? I am so tired of watching guys. I've got friends that put up YouTube videos or Instagram videos of them shooting a drill, and I'm not calling them out, but it's dumb to me, where they practice or they shot 100 times in order to do it one time, and then they posted it, and they let the world think that they can just walk onto the line and do it, and it's bullshit. I would rather be around a guy that can consistently hit what he's aiming at. And so to your question of what should you train? Accuracy, man. Always train accuracy. Inside, if your goal is that you carry a gun to protect yourself, accuracy inside the confines of speed. Because I don't have 20 minutes to sit down and get a sandbag out to stop somebody from killing me or killing somebody else or hurting somebody. You have to be able to, so in our courses, we talk about systems, and this is applicable to anything. And I don't want to go totally deep into it, but your training should be based around systems. What's that mean? It means that everything you do, I've got a mag loaded up with dummies, so don't freak out. So the way that I hold the gun, slides locked to the rear, gun's empty. I've got a good master grip on the weapon. What's a master grip? The master grip is how I interface with the weapon. I am high and tight. I'm going to hold that magazine just as I would coming out of a mag pouch or out of a Neo mag. I'm going to insert, seat, lock, tug. I'm going to forcefully cycle the action. I'm going to do a press check. If you don't agree with doing a press check, I think that makes you an idiot, but whatever. I'm then going to give my slide a little tap. I'm going to thumb check, and I'm going to holster. That's a system. That is a system of loading. I'm going to unload. I'm going to remove the source of ammunition. I'm going to store it somewhere on my body. I'm going to cycle. I'm going to lock the slide to the rear. I'm going to visually and if necessary, physically inspect the chamber. Now whatever I need to do to the gun, I can do it. Again, master grip. Good grip on my magazine, just as I'm going to do it, whether I'm going quick or slow. Seat lock, tug, cycle, press check, tap, thumb check, holster. Now I'm going to draw. When I draw, I'm going to be able to, my holster, regardless of what I'm doing, my holster has to allow me the ability to get a master grip. So if I can't get on the gun, however I'm doing it, if it doesn't allow me to get on the gun and develop that master grip, I don't want it. Draw, and I can go through those steps. Those are systems. My training is systematic. One thing, excuse me, supports the other, and all of that under the umbrella of developing skills to protect life and limb. We can't just show up at the range and do drills. We have to show up at the range with a plan, and I'm answering your question, to support whatever goal we have. You suffered an amputation on your left hand support index finger. Any idea how close to the... You hit me up offline, man. Send me a message, training@CarryTrainer.com, and let's talk about that. I never said I wasn't a fan of 3-gun matches. I shoot shotgun. I shoot the shit out of shotguns, and I shoot the shit out of rifles. I think that the training, though, like I dabble a little bit in USPSA. I used to shoot a lot more IDPA years ago, but I'm now, I've missed the last couple matches from some issues going on in life. But I train in the gear that I carry. My friend Les Kismartoni, for years, he's a grandmaster. I'm like, dude, why do you train with this gear, but then you carry another way? Well, now he's a grandmaster shooting from the appendix concealed against people with open top holsters. Yep, it is cheap. I would like to come to Missouri. The FBI qual is fine. I mean, there's a lot going on there. I think I wouldn't, depending on where you're at in your shooting journey, I wouldn't go to the range and just shoot the FBI qual. You may need to work on accuracy before you can take offhand shots at 10 yards. You may need to work on a smooth, efficient draw stroke. You may need to work on how to safely pass the gun from one hand to the other as per that test. So I think the real question we should be asking ourselves is, do we have the ability to openly and honestly look at ourselves and identify what, if anything, we need to address? And you should be doing that based on what your goals are. Stand by, I'm going to grab something. Well, this is something right here that I'm kind of a joke, kind of not. I mean, it's definitely not a joke. But here, I'm about to show you how you can achieve anything in your life. I'm about to show you, I put it on paper, how you can achieve anything in your life. You ready? Right here. So 3 things. Top thing says, what's your goal? What's your goal? Put it right there. What's your goal? Number 2, define the things that you can do right now to get after that goal. So if my goal was I want to be really accurate, well, what's that mean? You need to define what accuracy is. Is accuracy hitting this Post-it note in 2 seconds, or not this Post-it note, but hitting this paster in 2 seconds out of the holster at 10 yards, which would be really cool? Or is accuracy making a shot on something as big as this notebook paper in 10 seconds from 3 feet? See, there's a different metric there. So define what that looks like to you. Then define the things that you can do to achieve that goal. Well, if you're trying to hit this from 10 yards in a second, you're going to have a really fast draw stroke. So we know I need to work on draw stroke speed. I need to develop a draw stroke that ends up as that gun mounts, because I've got a really fast time constraint, that as that gun mounts, I take no time to get a sight picture and press the trigger. Boom. You get what I'm saying? Boom. So food for thought there, guys. Food for thought. And there might be like 20 things that you can list. Now, step 3, apply action immediately. So as far as like how to get better, what are you trying to get better at is really what's important. Accuracy to one person is different than another. Speed to one person is different than to another. You're blind in your right eye. So am I. That plate carrier, that's a very nice plate carrier. That's from, there's 2 of them back there, 3 of them. Those are from Defender Body Armor. This is a rifle rated setup here. Whole thing weighs like 7 pounds or something. It's ridiculously light. Ridiculously light. And then of course their slick setup. This is meant to go like this would be like somebody working low visibility stuff. Super light. Each one, this whole setup right here, I think weighs like well, we might as well weigh it so I'm not talking out my butt. Hold on. This whole setup weighs 2.15 pounds. Crazy, right? Not cheap, but cool. Anyway. What technique do you reload with AR left-handed as a left-handed shooter and blind in one eye? Well, the blind in one eye doesn't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. Good question. If you guys really want to talk about that, we can talk about it super quick. I don't think I have any mags handy. Of course I do. Yeah, here's one. Empty. So lefty, gun's empty, mag's empty. I'm just going to simulate here. Empty. I'm just going to shove this in my back pocket. Does that work? So I'm shooting. I'll stand here so you can see. That probably works best right there. Get that stock out. So click. I know the gun goes empty. Safe. I'm going to come back. I'll come to this side. So this is one of the ways that and I can do this pretty quick. Drop, fetch, in, and then on this side, I would work the bolt. So we can work that. So the gun goes to slide lock, or bolt lock rather. I'm shooting. I get a dead stick. I go to safe, come back, grab, come up. See that? Try it again. Gun's on safe. Dead stick. Oh. Dead stick. Go to safe. Drop. Load. Go. I've been shooting that Radian so long. Kind of out of practice with this setup. But I don't think we need to overthink it. You've got to work the controls. And if you're trying to do it quickly, you got to do it efficiently. And I think half the battle is having your gear in a position on your body to help you get to it expeditiously. I love this blaster, man. I've got so many years shooting it. It's beat up, it's ugly, but I can shoot the shit out of this gun. Man, I love this blaster. That's what I know, kids. How did you guys like this conversation? Menards toolbox? Yeah, man. It's a good little toolbox. The Performax sounds like a frickin' drug for penile malfunctions. Oh, wow. You know what? I don't mind your homoerotic fantasies. You call my friend John, who I know personally. John will not like you having those fantasies, you sicko. Do the same drill with that AK. I barely ever shoot AKs. You know, it's funny to me, like, guys spend a lot of time, like, how fast can I reload an AK? And here's what I think. Who cares? Sorry. No, you shouldn't disown him. Who cares? I hope I answered the question there with that AR. Well, good. I'm glad. Yeah, we've got one in Indiana coming up. We're looking at doing a couple here. I'm actually thinking about doing a class 1-day pistol tune-up course right here at home, like next week maybe. So good. Yeah, come to the Denver class, man. That'll be a good one. I love that range. That's a beautiful, beautiful spot. Well, good. I appreciate that you guys, you know, follow and share in our ideologies and our mindsets. I'm an imperfect human being, and I will say from time to time, you know, one of the reasons I kind of stopped, I'll say this to you and people listen in the future, you know, they'll get it too. I used to do this more. Man, it wears on me looking at some of the really hateful and angry stuff people have to say. And it's not because it hurts my feelings, like, ooh, people don't like me. It's like, damn, are people just that hateful and spiteful and stupid sometimes? And it's hard. It's hard. Uh, you know, I'm a normal person just like you guys. I shoot guns. I've got a family. I've got hopes and dreams and aspirations. But you know, people like that do what I do. Like somebody mentioned John Lovell, who's a wonderful human being. Yes, we're in business, but you know, I'm putting myself out there, and it's amazing to me how often guys are so quick to be judgmental. And it's like, hey man, hey, yes on that New Jersey question, but we can talk about that offline. Send me a message, training@CarryTrainer.com. Anyway, it's sometimes it's just too much for me to deal with, and so I kind of stopped doing this, and I'd like to do more of it because I enjoy these chats. What I think I'd like to do is maybe come up with a way like, hey, send us your questions, and that way I can have like well-prepared answers when we do this. What am I drinking? I'm having a delicious Rheingeist from Rheingeist is the brewery. This is Truth from Cincinnati. It's a 7.2 IPA. It says rare are moments of truth when you've struck the last match. You're belting out tunes with your friends, staring deep into the campfire. Times when you feel infinite. Our truth is found in the scintillating, good word, brilliance of hops, brewed with a nod to the Pacific. Hops sizzle with tropical fruit, aroma, grapefruit, and mango notes, and a dry finish. All right. Whatever they said, it tastes good. Our friends from Impact Shooting Center know I like this beer, so they brought me some. Thanks, Mr. Heiders. Was I saying that correctly? Yeah, man, I think we all grow together. I need to get better at just ignoring idiots. But, you know, like when it starts to cause me where I'm not happy doing it, where I'm not, if I don't look forward to it, I used to enjoy doing these discussions. And then it got to the point where it was like, man, I just like, why should I spend my time away from the family? Well, my wife's upstairs watching a movie this afternoon, enjoying a snow day, and we're just relaxing. Like, why am I doing this if I'm dealing with people that talk like assholes to me? And so there's a lot of times that I just don't want to deal with it. Sorry for the bumpy camera winding up one of my microphones here. Oop. So long and the short of it is I will do more of them. I enjoy it. I enjoy you guys. I appreciate those few of you. Clock 23 or 45 all day long. 40 cal can Thanks, dude. Oh, I've had Dogfish Head 120 forever. I've been drinking that stuff while many of you guys were still in high school. Be well, friends. If you guys need something, send us a message. Tell somebody you love them. Do some push-ups this afternoon. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that, Mark. 40 proof. It's not really 40 proof, though. I think that stuff's about 9% alcohol. Oklahoma, land of my birth. Nice to hear from you there, Mark. So we'll leave this video up, and I hope you guys are doing good. 308 AR, I've got 2 of them up there. Great guns, man. If you guys need something, like I said, send a message. If you're not yet subscribed here, please do. If these videos mean something to you, share them on your Facebook page. Share them with friends and family. You know, if some of the stuff that we're putting out, if you find value in it, if you find that other people would find it valuable, send me a message. Let us know. Jeff, we'll see you soon, man. We'll see you at class. Your stuff went out this week. Good to see you there. Tell somebody you love them. Be well. How do I stop this thing? It's crazy. I can't do anything.